I do want to mention, Emma, the Democrats' role in this, because we are in a week, and I really think the top line is, how in the hell are Democrats still confirming Trump nominees? I just mentioned in Orange Man Bad, Chris Wright as energy secretary, Scott Bezzant, who turned around and handed Elon Musk access to the Treasury. 15 Democrats voted for him, including Cory Booker and, of course, John Fetterman, but Ruben Gallego, Kirsten Gillibrand, Alyssa Slotkin. These are the people who are like, well, maybe if what's the play here? Maybe if we confirm some of their seemingly less crazy, nominations, that then we'll be fine afterwards. It's just like, it's insane. So, I mean, I've been urging people to call on these senators and be like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, it looks like, I mean, this isn't the Democrats, but it looks like it looks like everyone's getting through. Everyone. Even if I could have picked one, just to say, I don't know about you. If you
like, who would you say no to?
If I had to, like, a wish, RFK Jr. is the 100. One that scares me.
Oh yeah, and you're not even a mom. Like as a parent, I'm like, this is fucking terrifying for children right now. Like, absolutely, RFK Jr. is out. But here's Gerry Connolly again. What is it?
This is the guy who beat AOC on oversight
on the Oversight Committee, and here's him outside of the USAID, and he's really gonna stick it to Elon Musk. These are the Democrats in all of their resistance power.
And Elon, if you want to run AID, get nominated by Trump and go to the Senate, and good luck in getting confirmed.
Yes.
Whoops.
What's so funny about that is they're just confirming anyway. And it's not to say if all of them voted no, right, they wouldn't still be able to get him across the finish line given the breakdown. But like, there are many ways to gum up the works. You can obviously just do, not show up, on and on and on. But so this is, I mean, I'm going to really, to use the Argentina phrase, que se vayan todos, which was in 2001, during their economic crisis and collapse, they were like, everybody needs to go. Que se vayan todos. They all need to go. They went through 8 presidents in 2 weeks, or 9 presidents in 2 weeks. I can't remember what the rundown was. And that's the feeling I have. Like, all of y'all suck. Like, you all need to go.
Yeah, I mean, the party, if our institutions weren't so, I feel like, ossified, like, I would be like, oh, it's going by the way of the Whig Party. I mean, see you later. It's a coalition of everybody who isn't a Republican. That's the problem, is the Republicans it's an uneven playing field because they more aggressively serve capital. They can have messaging that's more uniform for that reason. And then you have in the Democratic Party, like, everybody from Josh Gottheimer to AOC. So it's harder to come to a consensus on that front. But, I do think that there's a part of the party that just thinks that the country needs to just go through this and then they'll be able to come out on top. And
isn't that Schumer's line? His line was like, Trump's gonna mess up, and you're like, you mean mess us up? Like, look at what's happening. Mess up. They're not messing up according to their plans.
But that from Schumer is the exact reason why this right now, I think the governors in this country are doing a way better job of resisting Donald Trump. Yeah. And I think that's a reason why a lot of the hopefuls for, if, there was some blitz primary in 2024, that it would have been one of those folks.
Right.
But Whitmer, Walz, and then J.B. Pritzker are messaging this and fighting back in public in a way that is just so refreshing, because you see the institution of the Senate, it's just, they are so disconnected. I mean, it's put in stark relief. And in 2020, part of the reason that Biden rose to the top, and frankly, was like, did we have one governor run? I mean, it was Biden, Bernie, Warren, Mayor of South Bend, Gillibrand, Booker, like everybody from the Senate and their mother decided to get into the race. They don't know how to govern. They are just institutionalists. At least these governors that come from the outside, they are in the executive position in their state, and they're like, I'm going to wield power. I mean, Walz was why I was excited about the VP pick. But you can see that like the Washington insider class, and I do feel like that Kamala Harris was hemmed into, and she didn't have enough talent to really be like, say no to this kind of thing, or good instincts. But her instinct was to pick Walz, which was a good one. And then everything was like consulting class takeover.
Yeah.
It's that.
Then rein him in.
Yeah, it's that, and it's the senators and the Senate institution in our DC corporate consultant class that has continuously steered the Democrats down a path of like, maybe if we just drop the woke stuff and keep everything, we'll be okay. That's the lesson that they're learning, and that's why
maybe we just move to the even farther to the right on immigration.
Totally.
Maybe if we just never talk about trans people, they don't exist.
Economic populism. When I hear that come out of Chris Murphy's mouth, the damn senator from Connecticut who is getting a divorce, and you can tell he has real divorce guy energy. I have no faith that when he talks about economic populism, that it means what AOC means or what we mean. Yeah. I'm concerned that they're confusing. It's this popularism, Matt Iglesias thing that the Biden administration embraced. Just go with what's popular. Do what's popular. You have control. I'm got mad again. You have control over public opinion. You have agency. You have the ability to change the conversation as the Republicans did. And now you're caving it to him and saying, we just got to go with it. We got to do what's popular.
Which it's not even popular, but also it's morally wrong. I've always felt this. It's like, again, these are throughout history, desegregation, not popular. Like all of these, issues that have never been popular.
MLK had a 33% approval rating right before he was assassinated. I guess we shouldn't have fought for civil rights or his vision or his war on poverty or his anti-Vietnam War activism, because it was unpopular. They're conflating popularism with populism. And I don't like the term populism for the fact that it is also nebulous as well. Sure. But still, the Democrats, that's what they're doing. And popularism is a stupid ideology. It's very dumb and acts like the politicians are just passive in changing the national conversation.
Yeah, and I also think it's not always true in every issue. In fact, in most issues. And you happen to host a show called The Majority Report for a reason. The majority of Americans believe in things like universal health care. The majority of Americans believe in, free education. Like the majority of Americans, are on our side, on the progressive side. And it's because we have these Democrats in the effing way. I did want to ask you about, for example, the DNC chair, Ken Martin. Yeah. I'm seeing sort of differing reports. Obviously it's not Ben Wickler, but Ken Martin, what is he's from Minnesota, but what is he?
The Democratic, I can never get the acronym right or the full name right. It's the DMFL, Democratic something, Farm Labor, and I forget the full acronym, but they're just like, they're basically, I think my understanding is that in Minnesota, they're like a big part of the Democratic Party.
He's the chairperson. Yeah. The Farmer Labor Party. Exactly. So he won, and, he had this line during some of the debates that was like, I believe in working with good billionaires. And then when he was finally won, he was like, we need to tackle the billionaires. And so I saw Sunrise Movement, who protested very heartily and amazingly during that, entire debate and discussion for the DNC chair. They were taking that as a win. But I guess I'm curious, how you feel about the chair. Does it matter? Is this good?
Well, I was rooting for Wickler. I know Fashikur entered late. I didn't really understand that decision. I mean, I think he got like 2 votes.
That's Bernie's former, campaign.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it was always a 2-man race. And then at the end of the day, I was like worried that there would be vote splitting, and that's why Ken Martin would win. And then if you added up every other vote plus Wickler, Martin would have won. So it doesn't really matter. He's an improvement over Jamie Harrison, but who wouldn't be? I would also say he's an improvement over Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Right, we've forgotten how far we've gone, like how low we've gone.
Martin was not my first choice, but he is better than both of those folks. And Jamie Harrison's number one role was, retweeting Mueller, she wrote, and getting into fights with Bernie supporters on social media, and changing the primary schedule to basically say like, no, there's going to be no primary for this very elderly president who's clearly losing his grip and funding a genocide. No. We're going to go against like the state law in New Hampshire and just unilaterally say, hey, South Carolina's first, because that's the state that Biden won in 2020. And that's when everybody got behind him.
Yep.
And it's more conservative.
And it was so bad faith too, because it's like they couched it as being a more diverse state and a more black state, which like I'm for, like if that's the reason. I don't think there's any reason
Bernie
why
won
New Hampshire,
Nevada. Is that Nevada's diverse too, but they just don't count that because it doesn't align with their interests.
Right. But it's just like, Biden had so many of those bad faith identity politics moments where you're just like, this is such a bastardization of what you pretend to care about, So yeah, that was gross. Not that I'm like, look, I like New Hampshire well enough, but I definitely don't think it should go first. I don't think it's representative of the nation.
Agreed. But like Iowa, but it's in their state laws, so it created it. I mean, remember there was that whole write-in campaign for Biden in New Hampshire, and
that's right.
And that was because
nobody talks about them unless we're talking about primaries. I get it.
It created an insane yeah, right, exactly. So, but my point is just that at least Ken Martin operates on the state level and like didn't lose to the Lindsey Graham by 10 points like Jamie Harrison did. And
that's right.
He's basically a corporate lobbyist. Martin and Wickler are both at least organizers and lawmakers within their
from Minnesota,
states.
right? Which mean with like Walz, which means a lot given how much they have been able to accomplish for the people there and on the progressive agenda. And everyone's like looking at Minnesota like I've been very jealous lately.
I'm so jealous of them too. Yeah. Except it can't be around that much cold all the time. So unfortunate. And I like the ocean, but Minnesota does seem like a great place to move. And then probably if there's some climate change, not bad.
That's right. Hey, ooh. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.